Gorman. I'm with IBM, and I'm here to help. Isn't that what the government guys always say? I'm our Director of Developer Outreach, and I work in our IoT business unit, and our job is to try and entice all of you all to come and use our platform and our services and that sort of stuff that we offer. So today I want to go through a couple of things. I don't know if I can call myself a developer anymore or not. I used to develop for money. Write code for money a long time ago, and nowadays I just boss people around that do. So for me, I'm more of a hobbyist, I guess, or a hacker these days, so we'll see how it goes. I want to talk a little bit about something that's different. I was at a meeting with Gartner a few weeks ago, and they coined this term citizen developer. And they told us to not forget about these people, or at least to try and see what we could do to help them out. Anybody have any idea what a citizen developer is? Have you heard that term before? These are the people that don't do code for money, but they have great ideas. Maybe they write a few macros in Excel, or they might do some simple things in that space, right? So they call them citizen developers. These are people that want to build things, but they don't know how to write code. So one of the things that we've started doing, obviously everybody loves Node-RED. That's our guy Nick and team there. A lot of big news coming out in Node-RED the next few months, so make sure you stay tuned in to all of the channels there. We're really excited about what's going on with that. What we're starting to see is a lot of really cool tools and products and ideas coming around to enable developers to do things better and faster, right? We can all build things faster. We're all professional developers. We can hammer stuff out pretty quick, and there's some neat things we can use today and leverage and really give us a lot of power. Along with that, it's now starting to appeal to these citizen developers. I mean, trying to, or building an application or tying together a few services in Node-RED today is dead simple. And for many kinds of things, it doesn't take any programming at all. You don't have to know JavaScript. You don't really have to know much at all, especially when you bury it in a bigger bigger platform, like either under Docker in Bluemix or some of the other platforms out there. It's pretty easy to stick together a whole bunch of stuff and have a running application in just about 15 minutes or less. It's pretty neat. And that's the kind of thing that we're looking at and trying to enable and trying to help these people. Why do we do that? I think today, or actually this week, as I've been wandering around and talking to people and hearing ideas, not everybody in here is a professional programmer. It's a very eclectic group, right? There's a lot of people here that maybe started or founded a startup or has some business ideas and they want to make something, but they don't really know how to do it. Those people are the people we want to enable. We want to take their idea, allow them to take their idea and really go with it and run with it and build a business and create things. Because all of us that are professional developers, we'll do it anyway. But what we want is to enable those guys, those people, to be able to really launch into it. And I thought that was it's kind of a neat, noble way to go, but I also think it's getting easier and easier, and we're going to see some really new and creative kinds of things. The IoT for me and for IBM seems to be an interesting challenge. There's a lot of things that have enabled it between cheap communication, and we just heard about a free network. I think that's really exciting. I'm going to go see if I can buy a node and stick it in my house and see what I can do with it. Cheap devices, ubiquitous connectivity, low-cost cloud computing. I think there's all of these things that are converging together to really give us some incredible power to do some really interesting things. And I think it's really exciting and really look forward to what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years. This is not a typical IBM presentation, by the way. I only have 4 slides. So I'm not going to PowerPoint you to death, so hopefully if I can think of a few stories as I'm talking, we'll do that. Otherwise, I'll be done a little early. But I wanted to at least share a few things with you. So I'm going to give you an example here of this. And this is actually live. I think you like my bling here that I'm wearing. This really cool piece of jewelry. This is a device called a particle internet button. I'm not endorsing them or anything. I actually bought it with my own money. I just thought it was interesting because I thought, what am I going to say at one of these events? It can't be the typical IBM suit parade, some guy up here telling us all about the business and blah, 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 right? This is a different kind of event. What am I going to do? And I had to so I stewed for a week, and I finally ran across this thing, and I just got it like Tuesday last week, and hammered together a quick example for you all. The other dangerous thing is, everybody says when you're doing a presentation, don't talk about politics. but this is ThingMonk, so I'm going to dive right in. So what you see right here is my little particle device. It's connected to Node-RED up on Bluemix, and all it is right now is a simple display, and all I'm doing is searching I'm logged into, or connected to my Twitter account, and searching for the word Trump. And I run it through Watson's sentiment analysis, and then decoding that sentiment analysis into positive, neutral, or negative. All right? And along the way, I discovered I had to put a message limiter in there because there's so much traffic. The reason I picked Trump was obviously there's a lot of passion, a lot of traffic, a very interesting display, and I think you can see it on here. So each light is a tweet as it goes around, and you see about a second and a half or so of history to see what's going on, right? And I still had to rate limit the thing because there was so many tweets coming in. It was just overloading queues everywhere. It was just craziness that was going on. The other thing I did, this is a little bit of an old picture. So, and by the way, this took me 4 hours. So in 4 hours, I took a simple device, connected it up to a cloud platform using some incredibly powerful cognitive solutions, built a little cool display that you guys are going to talk about for the next 2 weeks. Right? And probably everybody in here is going to be ordering a particle right now. How many people are already on Amazon ordering a particle or on their website? Neat little device. It's also got accelerometers in it, so you could probably do something with games. And these LEDs are infinite color, so you can make rainbows out of them, whatever you want to do. And it has buttons on it. So in the interest of fairness to the American politics, if I push button number 2, this is Hillary. Okay? And I tried, that's why I said I'm going to update my recipe. This link goes to the recipe of how I built this. I'm going to update the recipe with the button pushes and stuff to show you how I control different Twitter feeds now with the buttons. It's pretty cool. It's pretty slick and easy. I tried to do more Twitter feeds. Button 3 is supposed to be Brexit, right? And that was actually pretty cool. The problem was I couldn't have all 3 Twitter streams running at once because then I was running into Twitter's rate limits. And so the Brexit one would always stop. So I'm like, well, that's no fun. But I just would encourage you to go grab this thing and play with it. It's actually kind of fun to compare the different candidates or issues, and it's easy to change the search term if there's something that week that you want to play with. I've already where is Nick still in here? There he is. I already put in an enhancement request because I want to input to that so that I can use string inputs instead of all these feeds out there. So I'm putting him on the spot now in front of everybody. But I wanted to show you that. Second, I also brought my Raspberry Pi, and you can't see it. It's sitting on the floor over there. And I wanted to show that thing sits in my office. I've got another page of my Node-RED, and I guess if I have a little time at the end, I'll flip over to that and show you all the flows that I've got built in there. Because I've got LifeX bulbs going on off in my house showing the weather forecast so I can see what the weather is for the day and crazy stuff all over there. But the little Pi has a little keyboard thing on top, and I use that just for input and output. It's got lights and little capacitive buttons. It's kind of a neat thing. But it sits there in my office all day long, and it watches. I've got a Node-RED flow that watches IBM stock price. Anytime the price changes, it goes off and tells me what the price change is. So it's terrifying sometimes if I'm really focused on things. It almost gives me a heart attack when it goes off. So I may have to have it do some kind of warning first before it goes, IBM stock price. And it's just like it's very jarring sometimes. But it also responds to commands, right? And so what I did, since this thing has buttons that I can send up, I made button number 4, if we're lucky, it'll bounce to
GregsOfficeWeather.com reports the temperature is 74 degrees and mostly cloudy.
All right, so sending commands off this little $50 device all the way to Dallas. It goes and gets the weather from the Weather Channel, from the weather data that we have, decodes it, strips it all out, ships it down to that guy. Then that thing goes back to Watson text-to-speech, converts it to a WAV file, brings that back down and played it. And that was left, what was that? All the way to Dallas and back twice in, a second and a half maybe? Not too bad. So pretty neat little devices. Had a lot of fun with it. Total of about 4 hours on this. I probably have more like 16 or 18 hours on that because I keep playing with it and doing more and more and more stuff with it. But a lot of fun, pretty simple things to do. I found the sketch to do this with easily. Like I said, there was plenty of recipes out there on how to connect a particle device to Bluemix. So I followed that recipe and then extended it with mine and my code and stuff. And that was pretty interesting and pretty exciting. I thought it was fun. Let's see, which one is it now? This is the Trump one again. It's fun to see the difference between them. The Trump one, there's a lot of passion. It's either red or green. And with Hillary, it's a little different. So I don't know. It's been a fun little trip. And for my last slide, a couple of things I want to do. First, because you all are a nice bunch of people, I brought a box of 100 Raspberry Pis with me. Who would like a Raspberry Pi? Yeah? All right. My colleague over here will be out at a table during lunch and during the breaks. Come on over, grab one. All I ask is that you either leave us your name and email, business card, or better yet, follow one of the recipes. You can get on here. There's a place you can play with a sandbox with no commitment. You can sign up for a free account for 30 days. After 30 days, you swipe your credit card. It's still free. And you can play with this stuff and play with all of the really cool things I just showed you. I've got text-to-speech, I've got analytics running here, command response up and down the line, and it's all pretty fun stuff and not too hard to do. So what was that weather forecast again?
Greg'sOfficeWeather.com reports the temperature is 74 degrees and mostly cloudy.
And that's at, 3:30 in the morning or something. That's in Dallas, is where my office is. So that's 3:30 or 4 in the morning. So it's a pretty warm day, just like it is here. And that's all I have, guys. I just wanted to make you think, inspire you a little bit, show you some fun toys.